So my big question is, had any of you waltzed before? I feel like that was the big
Ooh,
takeaway from the finale is that everyone's waltzing.
not really.
No, I had not. Jed, you had, right? Yeah.
Jed,
Distinctly.
Jed is
I
a
am
stellar
a
dancer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had to working on Descendants there. I learned a lot of different dance stuff, and Waltz was like just one of the like simple ones that we had to do. Sorry,
Mm.
guys. I don't mean
Yeah.
to. I don't mean
No,
to
but he
call it
said
simple.
he said that he had done it though, and none of us believed him for some reason. Like he was like, "Yeah, I can waltz. I don't need to go to waltz rehearsal. I can waltz." And we were like, "No, you can't. You just don't want to go to waltz rehearsal." And
He
then
was
he
he
and
was
then he
very
showed up to
good.
waltz rehearsal and proved us all wrong. And we were like,
Yeah, yeah.
"The one time he's being serious."
I don't. Yeah, I don't blame you guys for not.
Yeah.
You can't trust anything coming out of me.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. There's a couple of times where I've seen Jed like off the side of set. He's not even on camera, and he'll do like a perfect like Michael Jackson-esque spin on his toes and do
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
little. He'll just like hit a dance move out of nowhere, like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, whoa, what was that? Was actually surprisingly good.
He's got
I,
it.
I work on this stuff, guys. I do it. I
Yeah.
do it.
He said,
I'm
"Oh
glad
my."
you guys notice.
We
This is what I
noticed.
do it
We're,
for.
we're
Yeah.
watching.
So what I'm hearing is Clayton's season 2 journey is going to be all about the dance moves.
Lord of the
Yeah, he's gonna start a dance school in Hope Valley. It's gonna be the
Uh-huh.
first.
He's very
Yeah.
nimble, light on his feet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then there'll be like a new footloose law, and we'll have to like outlaw
Yeah.
it and
Oh
everything.
man, yeah.
We start
Imagine that.
easy and it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
That's
Really
gonna be
looking forward to
juicy.
it.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, that's confirmed too. Everyone has confirmed that that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So then, while this whole waltzing scene is happening, we have Olivia and Alexander waltzing together. Clayton cuts in. Do you think Alexander would have made his feelings known to Olivia during that conversation if Clayton hadn't cut in?
No, I don't think so. I think that Alexander is first and foremost trying to do the best he can in the town in every aspect. He wants to be respectable. He wants to be liked. He wants to do a good job. And as soon as a young, bright thing like Olivia tells him she's thinking about going off on an adventure and following her dreams, there is no part of him that can say like, well, no, like no, he would be totally hypocritical as somebody who has come out to the frontier to do that exactly for himself, to say, no, you have to stay. So I think in that moment, as soon as she says that, he thinks the only right answer is to say, like, of course, go and do it. Otherwise, who am I to say, no, I'm following my dreams and you should stay. Like, I would like you to. He would obviously love for her to stay, but he can't say that.
Yeah, and then completely juxtaposing that, Clayton goes, "No, you can't go."
Yeah.
Walk me through that reaction.
Geez, that was a super fun scene to film. I'm a big like I'm a hopeless romantic myself. So anytime some guy is like spilling the beans in front of a girl kind of thing, I'm just like, this is what it's all about. And it was just the little monologue that I had to say to her. It was written well, and it just kind of it all felt like, here's his moment to take his shot. And just as equally as I love things working out for everybody, it is so juicy to kind of like see this guy take a shot and not really end up with perhaps the answer he wants or whatever. But yeah, I think he's so filled with like courage and thinking about doing this big thing for himself that perhaps he's for one of the first times he's not really thinking about her and what's important to her kind of thing. He's just kind of so focused on getting this out kind of thing. So yeah. And I guess spoiler alert, it's not like she's like, oh, happy ever after, let's move in
It's all
together.
hanging in the balance afterwards.
Yeah.
See what
So
happens after he says all that.
Yeah, so now we've seen almost back to back your two characters kind of profess these opposite things about Olivia going to art school.
Mm.
Is it hitting Olivia now that things are getting tense between the two guys?
I think so. I also think like Olivia I think has been a little oblivious maybe to like some of the Clayton stuff, but I think by the end she's not like she's smart. I think that she knows what's going. Like I think there's a scene in episode 8 where Clayton comes in while she's teaching Sarah how to waltz, and she's like, well, why don't we teach her? And he's like I can't, I gotta go make her shoes, and he's like, okay, and her and Sarah have this cute little moment where they're like boys. And I think so. I think that Olivia is privy to more than like maybe we see her being privy to. And I think, yeah, like I think that she's sensing the tension kind of rising between the two of them, especially when it's that overt, like it's tapping him on the shoulder and being like, mind if I cut in? And there's a little moment there too where I think that she's like, we still kind of had like stuff that we maybe needed to talk about. And I think that there's a world in which had Clayton not cut in, Olivia might have been like, are you sure that you mean that? Like, do you actually not want, like, that's my sign, but like, are you sure? And the conversation might have unfolded completely differently had Clayton not cut in. So it's interesting. I think that, but I think she's pretty aware now that she's got two handsome men vying for her heart.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And then we've talked a lot this season about yearning, who's the better yearner, all of that. I would love to know at the end of season 1, is Olivia yearning for anyone? And if so, who?
I think Olivia is a yearner kind of at heart anyways. Like I think being a dreamer is kind of inherently being a yearner. I think that she yearns for a bigger life. I think that she yearns for like creative fulfillment and something that like maybe she hasn't always gotten in within the confines of this town. But that I think that there's potential to grow within it as it expands. But I do think that she's yearning a little bit after Alexander because he's not being the most forthcoming. He's not being like super upfront with his feelings. And of course that's always kind of what intrigues. I mean, unfortunately, that's often what leaves people intrigued is not being forthright. So yeah, I think she's yearning in a greater sense, and then she's also yearning in that kind of micro sense over Alexander.
Yeah. And then we have to talk about that shocking end of season moment where Rebecca gets arrested. Lachlan, what can you tell us about the warrant that Alexander reads saying that Rebecca needs to be arrested?
Yeah, it's tough. He's in a headspace at that exact moment where he's not really thinking clearly. He's just had this revelation from Olivia, so he's kind of like a little bit thrown for a loop. And then I walked off to the side and I had the prospectors in my ear, like off camera, but still on camera. And those two guys talked to me for like 2 days of filming, just like in character in Alexander. So his headspace is all messed up. Then he gets this warrant and it just says, like it's fully legit. He does a quick check to see if it's legit. And it says she's wanted for a pretty serious crime. And so grand larceny, I think it is. And so he's like, okay, this is a legit warrant. I'm not the one whose job it is to question it. I'm the one whose job it is to bring her in. She has her day in court, has her trial, but somebody's gone through the effort of trying to prosecute her in some way. So he just reacts in the moment. And I think in a better headspace, he pulls her aside, maybe asks her to step outside of the party or whatever, but he's not thinking well in that moment. And it's just kind of shocking to him because he spends the whole season looking at Rebecca, seeing this woman who seems nice, but there's something off about her. He talks to Olivia a lot about it. Like, what's up with her? She's dodging me. And then he comes around just by episode 8 to being like, no, she's a good person. And then he gets flipped on the head where he's like, I think she's obviously a criminal. She might have pulled the wool over my eyes as well. It's kind of startling.
Yeah. And then from the perspective of the community, seeing how close maybe Olivia has gotten to Sarah, could this affect her decision going forward about leaving the community?
I don't know if it would impact her decision. Maybe. I think it could. I think that there's definitely a component, depending on how quickly it gets resolved. If it gets resolved, I think that she definitely would feel a duty to help take care of Sarah. But I also think it could impact the way she feels about Alexander to a certain extent. I think that there's a world in which, I think that he's doing his best in that moment, but she doesn't know, she knows that she cares a lot about Rebecca. and she knows that she cares a lot about Sarah, and all she sees is this man that she is interested in, that she really likes, splitting these two people up who only really have each other. And I think that he's faced with a moral conundrum, but I also think that he's going to be, I'm not sure, but I think that there's a world in which he faces some backlash from the community as a result. And I think it would be hard for that to not factor in at least somewhat to the way Olivia feels about him.
Yeah, and then looking forward towards a potential season 2, I would love to know, like, has there been any talk of a second season?
Just from the hotties wanting messaging saying they want to see more, which is really nice. It's heartwarming to hear.
Yeah, we always like. Yeah, I think the hope is we all pontificate and, come up with our theories about what's going to happen. And the goal is when you do a show that you always want more. So we're really hoping that this has resonated enough with people that we get to do it for a really long time. But yeah, I hope we get a season 2. I miss these two. I mean, we all live in the same city. We're going to see each other. I've been away for the last month, but yeah, I'd love to get to do it all again.
Yeah. Would everyone be game for a season 2?
For sure.
Oh, heck yeah.
Working with these two I would usually make some sort of joke here, some sarcastic offhand comment, but I can't. It's really nice working with these two.
Yeah. These guys are the best.
Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your hopes for this romantic storyline, if it's able to continue?
I really like the fact that kind of what Ron was saying, that like both guys are good choices in their own way. They're both great choices, like for different reasons, and they both approach her in different ways. I think that's why that writing in that finale, that dancing scene, is so nice, because it's two responses with maybe like the same feeling but in just a completely different execution, right? And I would just like to see how there's like how someone can have two like very different sort of things and both be good options and then be pulled like whichever way. Like there's no right answer here. I just enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that we get to kind of like that we get to tease it out in a way where both relationships are built out enough that we really have a good idea of what both things would look like. I think, we're at the beginning stages of a lot right now. Nothing has really happened. There's been sparkle and like, little inklings of what each guy kind of brings to the table, but ultimately it's not fully fleshed out yet. So I'm excited to kind of continue to flesh out both relationships, hopefully.
So you're going to play the field? You're going to like play both of these guys so you can find out what both... You can't do that.
Look, what's a frontier girly to do except for explore her
options? It's true, I guess, yeah.
But I think there's not a lot to do around here, okay? I got to keep things interesting for Hattie. I got to keep things interesting for you guys. There's only so much blacksmithing one man can do. So yeah, I hope that my hope is that we kind of get to see both of these relationships get fleshed out to a point where people kind of have all the information and they can, make a decision as to who they really want to root for. And that it becomes clear who the best choice for Olivia is.
Yeah. And I want to do more scenes with Jed as well.
yeah, definitely. I love the, like, anytime there was, I just did ADR for one of the episodes, and it was the episode where we're bringing the table in and Lockie just like comes back from his, a few days away or whatever. And it's just, I only have one line to him and it's just like, oh, you're back. Yeah. I don't know. I was like, man, I have so much fun on that one line.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to do, an episode, maybe a build up to us kind of, not getting along perhaps. And then in an episode, we're forced to like work together to accomplish some goal or something. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I want it to come to blows, frankly.
Yeah.
I want a fist fight over me. That's all I want.
Maybe a duel.
Yeah, a gunfight.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Spirit. Come here. Sorry, my dogs are screaming.